Hello everyone, I'm Allison Alvazuri, Student Advisor at Options for Youth for San Gabriel and the online program. Today we'll be going over FAFSA Fundamentals for the 2019-2020 school year. This particular time frame is students that will be attending college, university, or trade school during fall 2019 through summer 2020. If you identify yourself as a Dreamer or a DACA student, you will not be filling out the FAFSA, but the California Dream Act. Financial aid can help with various educational costs, such as tuition, fees, books, room and board, and transportation. Your aid can also assist with expenses like daycare and purchasing a computer. There are 4 different types of aid. Grants is free money. Work study is earned money. Typically, this can be done at a college, such as working at the bookstore part-time. The other is student loans, which is borrowed money that you have to pay back, and scholarships. This is typically done through athletic merit or awarded by the institution or through competition from various websites. Students must apply every year that they will need aid for educational expenses. The FAFSA is every student's first step in applying for financial aid. By completing the FAFSA, you'll be applying for most of federal and state financial aid. Families should take note of the FAFSA start date and complete this form shortly after October 1st. The FAFSA window is October 1st through March 2nd for priority money. Here's a screenshot of FAFSA.gov's homepage where you can complete the FAFSA application online. Federal Student Aid released an updated version of FAFSA.gov this past summer. The pages have been resized to fit on mobile devices. FSA hopes to make it easier for parents and students to access the application on a device that works best for them. Remember to use FAFSA.gov. You should never have to complete the FAFSA or pay. Any site that requires payment to complete the application is not a correct site. FAFSA Forecaster offers a family a glimpse at their potential financial aid eligibility. The FAFSA 2019-2020 FAFSA opens up October 1st. Students should complete the FAFSA as soon as possible. FAFSA Online is the easiest and most efficient way to complete the FAFSA. The online process provides tooltips, question marks besides each statement to assist you with questions. This online process also includes built-in edits to help prevent errors. If you file online this year, next year you'll be able to complete a renewal FAFSA with some answers already pre-populated with your information. The FSA ID will be used as your electronic signature for the online FAFSA. Students and one parent or spouse will need an FSA ID. The FSA ID allows you to sign your FAFSA electronically, and it can also be used to sign student loan applications and access financial aid information. Parents without a Social Security number will not be able to get an FSA ID. They'll have to print a signature page and mail to Federal Student Aid to complete the application. This option is presented at the end of FAFSA. The FSA ID may be used on any of these websites to various types of information about financial aid or student loans. There are several ways to access the FSA ID information. FSA.gov, studentaid.ed.gov/FSA ID, or FSAID.ed.gov. Students and parents should plan to create their FSA ID prior to starting the FAFSA application. Families can go to FAFSA.gov and scroll down the homepage and get started on creating an FSA ID. The next few slides offer screenshots for FSA ID creation, explaining in detail what it is needed to complete the process. Be sure to use an email address you'll have access to after high school. Don't use your high school or college issued email address since you may eventually lose access to that account. By selecting Show Text, families can see the password they're typing in to assure accuracy. It is very important that all information is entered correctly when creating your FSA ID. Please double check your Social Security number. When completing a FAFSA and setting up the FSA ID, all students and parents' names, Social Security numbers, and date of birth are matched with 8 government agencies listed on the screen right now. Applicants are asked to review the information previously provided. An address and phone number are required. Families may also request to view this information in Spanish. Challenge questions are included to ensure security. The significant date challenge question is optional. This date may be used for verification if you call the FAFSA Processing Center. Review all answers provided on this page. Applicants must also read and accept terms and conditions. Applicants must open their email account in a new window to access the secure code sent to them. This code is entered into their FSA ID screen to complete the process. Applicants must open the text message they received to access the secure code sent to them. This code is then entered into the FSA ID screen to complete the process. Students may go ahead and complete, sign, and submit their FAFSA with the FSA ID they just created. If there is a problem verifying the information provided when creating the FAFSA ID, the student and her parent will be notified, and the FAFSA will not be processed until the situation has been cleared. After you completed the FSA ID process, you're ready to complete the FAFSA itself. The next slides outline each step of the process. Each section of the FAFSA requires specific information about the student and the parent, such as demographic and financial data. As a student begins the application, they will be asked to log into their FSA ID. Students shouldn't share their FSA ID with their parent. Parents can access the student's FAFSA by clicking on the I am a parent tab on the right. They will need to enter the student's information and the student's save key to access the application. Students may log in using the FSA ID, username, and password that you just created. If you choose to log in entering the student's information, you'll use name, date of birth, and social security number. Students must read and decline or accept the disclaimer. If students decline, they must submit a paper application. Be sure to choose a 2019-2020 FAFSA if you plan to attend school beginning in the fall of 2019. If you will begin school in the summer of 2019, check with your school that you plan to attend to get specific requirements on the FAFSA. You must create a save key in case you don't complete the FAFSA all at once. When you log out and come back into FAFSA that hasn't been submitted, you must enter the save key to access the information you already filled in. Your name and date of birth must match what's shown on your Social Security card, or your FAFSA will be rejected. Questions on the updated version of FAFSA.gov appear on a response basis. Not all questions will appear at one time. Questions will appear based on a student's previous answer, so a student will only answer questions that relate to their circumstance. Even if you plan to be married by the time you start college in the fall, you must enter your marital status as of the day you actually submit your FAFSA. Tooltips are the question mark icons besides each statement that offer a detailed explanation on most questions. If you're an 18-year-old male and haven't registered with Selective Service, you may do so on your FAFSA. Males who have not registered with Selective Service will not qualify for financial aid. If you're only 17 now, go ahead and check Register Me. Your information will be submitted on your 18th birthday. Tooltips are the question mark besides each statement that offer a detailed explanation on most questions. Options for Youth is a public charter school. We are not a homeschool program, so you will not be clicking on homeschooled. Students are required to indicate the high school from which they will graduate. If your high school doesn't appear when you search by school name, you can also search by city and state. If you indicate you have a high school diploma, you'll be required to include the school's name from which you graduated. Students who indicate they are homeschooled or received a GED will not see this page. At Options for Youth, San Gabriel Charter, our school code is 052432. All students that attend San Gabriel Online Program or Chino 2 belong to Options for Youth San Gabriel. Please choose that high school when entering in the FAFSA. The school selection area allows you to send your FAFSA results to 10 different schools. Each school has a 6-digit code number. If you don't know the school's number, you may do a search here by school name, city, or state. This page provides information about the schools you've chosen to receive your FAFSA results. You will find the cost for tuition and fees, the graduation rate, retention rate, and much more. You can also follow the link directly to each school's website to learn more. You must provide your housing plans for each school receiving your FAFSA results. Be aware that every school will give you 3 housing options, regardless of whether the school offers them or not. The financial aid of the schools will use your housing plans to help determine the amount of financial aid you may be awarded. So the 3 options are off campus, on campus, or with parent. Your answers to these questions will determine your dependency status on the FAFSA. If you can answer yes to one question, you'll be considered an independent student. Independent students do not have to provide parent information on their FAFSA unless requested by their school. If not, you're considered a dependent student and must provide parental information on your FAFSA. Independent students who are married must also show spousal information. If there's a special circumstance prohibiting you from providing parental information, it's highly recommended that you speak to the financial aid office at the school you'll attend. Many schools have specific procedures that they follow to handle this question. If you state you're unable to provide parental information, read this page carefully and make sure you're eligible to qualify. The school you plan to attend will require documentation to back up your statements. If students are unable to provide parental information but do not have a legitimate circumstance as deemed by the financial aid office, they may be limited to the types of financial assistance they're able to receive. This is a list of some additional special circumstances that you or your parent may be facing. Speak with your financial aid office if you have any specific questions. Families should read this information carefully when determining who should be considered the parent on the FAFSA. A person is not a legal parent unless they have legally adopted the student. As you indicate your parent's marital status, review these tips regarding whose financial information to include on the FAFSA. If both legal parents live together but aren't married, they must report both incomes on the FAFSA. Parents must provide the first initial of their full first name and date of birth as shown on the Social Security card. If parent is undocumented or not a U.S. citizen, they may enter zeros for the Social Security number. On this slide, we're featuring legal parents who are married. The applicants will provide information about the father, stepfather, and mother, stepmother. This slide provides instructions on who may be counted in the household size. If parents choose to do so, they may download their tax information directly into the FAFSA via the IRS data retrieval tool. Using the IRS data retrieval tool simplifies the FAFSA process for students now and when they begin college. Electronically filed tax information will be available 3 weeks after the return has been accepted by the IRS. Only applies to late filers using 2017 tax information. To access the IRS data retrieval tool for the parent income section, parents will need to enter their FSA ID. If parents do not have an FSA ID, they can create one. If they are unable to create an ID, then they will have to manually enter their financial information. This screen requires you to verify that you're the student or parent trying to access IRS tax information. You must provide general demographic data as well as your filing status on your return. Be sure to provide the exact address as shown on your tax return. Spell out street or use ST depending on how it's shown on your return. For example, after your tax information has been located, you'll see the option for your tax figures to be transferred. Click Transfer My Tax Information into the FAFSA at the bottom of the page. Be sure the box to the left of the statement selected. A confirmation box will follow. If you choose to manually enter your tax information, the FAFSA questions will include the tax returns line number to locate the answers. This page requires information on any untaxed income or parental assets. Students can indicate if they file their taxes, if they will file, or if they won't file at all. Students also have the option to use the IRS data retrieval tool to download their tax information from irs.gov. Even if you aren't required to file a tax return because you didn't make much money last year, you're required to report your income on the FAFSA. Click View or print your FAFSA information to review all of your answers for accuracy before the FAFSA is submitted. Student and parent will enter their FSA ID information to electronically sign their FAFSA application. Don't forget to hit Submit My FAFSA now when you're done. Parents without Social Security numbers will not be able to get an FSA ID. They'll need to print a signature page and mail it to Federal Student Aid to complete the application. After you hit Submit My FAFSA now, you'll receive a confirmation page. You will see an estimate of your eligibility for the Pell Grant and federal student loans. You will also see an estimate of your expected family contribution, or EFC. Please keep in mind that this is an estimate. Financial aid offices make the final determination and notification of eligibility. Federal Student Aid released My Student Aid mobile app this past summer. To make the FAFSA more accessible for all students, they created a downloadable app for families to use on all devices. This is the opening screen of the mobile app. It will have announcements about maintenance and other updates. Before getting started with the FAFSA, applicants can say whether they are a student, the parent, or a preparer. Students should carefully select the correct FAFSA year based on when they will be attending college on the mobile app, just as they did on FAFSA.gov. Students will need the FSA ID to log in. They can still create a save key on the mobile app. Students can also access student loan information from the app, such as other federal loans that have their financial history. Students can reset the FAFSA from the app as well. Students can create an FSA ID or manage it from the app if they do not already have one. The app walks the student through the FAFSA form just like the website does. It takes them through each section of the application. Students will see each question appear one at a time, just like the web version. Students can sign their FAFSA using a real signature, or they can choose to use their FSA ID. Students will still receive a confirmation page telling them the next steps after the FAFSA has been submitted and telling them their estimated expected family contribution. The FAFSA is just the first step in paying for college. The next several slides will outline what to expect after you've submitted your FAFSA online. Schools may contact students in a variety of ways. Be sure to check your college-issued email account and watch for mail to arrive from the schools you've been accepted to. Student Aid Report, or SAR, is a summary of the information you've provided on the FAFSA. It will be sent to you electronically or via paper, depending on how you filed your FAFSA application. Review the SAR for any errors. Corrections to your FAFSA information can be made in a number of ways. All changes made will be forwarded to the schools you've chosen to receive your FAFSA results. When the Financial Aid Office begins to determine your aid eligibility, they will assign you a cost of attendance. The cost of attendance, or COA, is an estimate of the educational expenses for a particular school. The COA includes average expenses such as tuition, fees, books, and living costs. The COA will probably be different at each school you've selected to receive your FAFSA results. The expected family contribution, or EFC, is a number calculated from your FAFSA information. Financial aid offices use the EFC to determine a student's eligibility for federal and state aid programs. Your EFC will remain the same no matter which school you attend. Financial need is determined by your school's financial aid office. They subtract your EFC and any other aid, such as an outside scholarship, from your school's COA. The difference will be your financial need. Financial aid is awarded based on this calculation. In this example, the student may receive up to $15,000 in need-based aid and no more than $20,000 in non-need-based aid. Need-based aid includes grants, work-study, and subsidized student loans. Unsubsidized student loans are non-need-based aid. Be sure to review your financial aid award letters carefully. Pay close attention to any deadlines for accepting or declining financial aid. Schools may contact students in a variety of ways. Be sure to check your college-issued email account and watch for mail to arrive from the schools you've been accepted to. The next few slides will cover federal financial aid programs. The programs listed include dollar amounts, and interest rates are subject to change as federal budgets are finalized. Please keep in mind that each student's eligibility will also vary depending on their family size, income, and assets. The Pell Grants and Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant are need-based grant programs for undergraduate students without a bachelor's degree. The Teach Grant has some very specific requirements that recipients must fulfill. It becomes a loan if you do not end up teaching in a required field and/or school. Students are encouraged to research this program carefully before accepting. Students who have lost a parent after 9/11 in either Iraq or Afghanistan should notify the financial aid office at the school they plan to attend. You apply for all programs by completing the FAFSA. Not all schools participate in these programs. The program listed, including dollar amount and interest rates, are subject to change as federal budgets are finalized. Federal Work Study is a program based on a student's financial need. It allows students to work part-time on or off campus. Not all schools participate in this program. You apply for all programs by completing the FAFSA. Subsidized federal loans are low-interest loans offered by the government. They are awarded based on financial need, and the interest is subsidized by the government while the student is enrolled at least half-time. Unsubsidized federal loans are non-need based. The government does not pay the interest on these loans. If ineligible for a subsidized loan, the student may be eligible for an unsubsidized loan. Borrowers can pay the interest on the unsubsidized loan or wait until they graduate or are no longer enrolled in at least half-time. Interest will begin to accrue on the unsubsidized loan after the first disbursement has been made, and the student is responsible for all interest on this type of loan. All loans must be paid back, so borrow only what you need for school. The 2019-2020 interest for both loans will be released July 2019. Parents of dependent students can apply for the PLUS loan to supplement their child's financial aid award. To qualify, the parent must be credit worthy. Repayment begins shortly after disbursement. To be considered for this loan, the student must complete a FAFSA application. There are PLUS loans available for independent students as well. If you fall into this category, you may want to visit your financial aid office for additional information. PLUS loans require a separate application by the parent borrower found online at www.studentloans.gov. State financial aid. In California, we have Cal Grants. Cal Grants can be used at UCs, CSUs, California community colleges, and qualifying independent or career colleges or trade schools. Create your account here at www.webgrantsforstudents.org. You will need to verify your GPA by March 2nd. The California Assembly Bill number 19, also known as the California College Promise, waives fees for one academic year for first-time students who are enrolled in 12 or more semester units or the equivalent at a California community college, and must complete the FAFSA. In addition to federal and state financial aid, scholarships are a great way to help pay for college. The following slides provide various scholarship and college planning. Students should start applying for scholarships when they enter high school. Scholarships are available as students continue through college as well. Institutions offer scholarships to students attending college, and many are specifically for incoming freshmen. The incoming freshman scholarship may be part of the admission application, or it may be a separate application. Check with your school to find out how to apply. Be sure to watch for scholarship deadlines, as they may be early in the student's senior year of high school. It's never too early or too late to apply for scholarships. Students are encouraged to apply for institutional scholarships as they continue through college. As we come to a conclusion of our FAFSA Fundamental workshop, if you do have any questions, please reach out. Here is my information. Again, I'm Allison Alvazuri, Student Advisor for Options for Youth for the San Gabriel and online program. My information is listed on the screen. You can also visit my website at bit.ly/OFY Essay Corner for any questions.